So it looks like I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands, make a few custom, and put together the ultimate tournament of the sources. So without any further ado, let's go. So for starters, I already own this set, which comes with all of these minifigures, 3 of which are exclusive. But this is hardly enough for a tournament of the sources. We need more elemental masters, don't you think? So let's go through all of these masters and see how we can upgrade them first. And of course, joining me today is my brother.
Hey there! Oh yeah!
Of course. So first off is Kai. Now the only problem is, as cool as Source Tournament Kai is, he's not canon. Not even canon in the slightest. So, I'm going to do all of this season a pretty big favour. Well, not sure if I can call it that or not, but for accuracy's sake, I'm going to replace him with Climber Kai, who is the suit that appears in this season of the show. And it's a really good minifigure overall.
Which he goes with...
Our first custom.
Bonzel.
This is not that great of a custom, but I think it does the job well. What I did is I took a skeleton, used a little paint pen on the eyes, then stuck a goblin hat backwards with some blue tack, and then I just cut the jacket bit out of a piece of paper, card paper. So, looks like we're done with all our nether space travels. Maybe we should get into the rest of the minifigures in a set. So Sora is basically what I consider perfect. I can't think of any way to upgrade this to be more accurate to the show. I mean, perhaps adding the shoulder pad, for that comes in other sets. So that's not too big of a deal. But Cinder, on the other hand, does need a bit of an upgrade. Now, I absolutely love this Cinder minifigure. His translucent black arm, his rage blade, his smoke form. But the only problem is, Cinder has legs in the show. This is the only Cinder minifigure we got.
His arm was quite cool too.
Yes, I love the Shatterspin armor too. So, let's make ourselves a Cinder with some legs. So to start, we're going to switch Cinder's head around to his normal non-smoke form. And then we're going to remove this ghost tail piece, replace it with these knockoff legs from like a Monkey King minifigure. If you know my channel, you know I love knockoffs. And just attach that to Cinder's torso. And yeah, works pretty perfect for its Source Tournament Cinder. Oh wait, it's not all the way pushed down. Yeah. Works pretty perfectly for a Source Tournament Cinder. I really like how it kind of continues the red and grey colour scheme all over its body. That's a backprint in case you don't know this minifigure. But yeah, that's our first upgrade. Cinder. Next up is Evil J, the Forbidden Fire Warrior, and the Standard Brass Warrior. These 3 are perfect and require absolutely 0 upgrades. So I guess we'll move on, but I do have one thing to add. And that is giving Jay one of the masks to power him up for some shatter spin.
You can also make this abomination if you want.
Actually, that's kind of alright. But this isn't full shatter spin Jay. To do that, let's go back to Cinder. What we're going to do is we've got Cinder here. We're going to take off his armour. And we're going to give it to Jay. There we go. That is Shatterspin J. Next up are the rest of the ninjas. Oh wait, I don't have them. So without further ado, I guess let's get into the customs. We'll start with the only official one around here who isn't custom, Master Lloyd. I absolutely love this minifigure. If you want to get him, he comes in the very small J-Mech Battle Pack. Yes, that's actually the set's name. He's also in the kind of overrated Dragonstone Shrine. That's only my opinion. And he's in a couple books, I think. I think he also appeared in a comic at some point, if you live in Europe.
Also, I need to say one thing. The J Battle Pack is so underrated. It has like 4 minifigures.
Yes.
For $8.99?
So that's Master Lloyd, but what about if he's in the tournament? I give you Tournament Lloyd. How to build him is I took the legs and the torso from Core Lloyd. I don't think the suits actually have a canon name in Core, but that too also appears in Dragons Rising. They gave him the arms and hands from classic Season 4 Tournament Lloyd, and same with the masterpiece, but you could get that from the island too. Gave him the new Lloyd head, and the hair comes from, of course, Island Lloyd or Golden Lloyd or any of the others. But if you look at Lloyd here, you'll notice his band's in a new colour. Of course, I can't get that here. As for his shoulder pad piece, it's one of these, which you can get from Skybound or Day of the Departed. And that is how you build Tournament Lloyd. Next is probably what I think my worst custom of the Tournament Ninjas is, because I don't own the one from Core, but that is Source Tournament Zane. He has the hair and head from the Ninjago movie Onward era Zane, which I've been using on my hunted one. Then he's got the Ninjago movie half mask piece, because I don't own an actual Zane half. Actually, I think I do. I got it on Stone Warrior Zane in a comic a while back, but I can't find it anywhere, so this will have to do for now. Then, of course, same Skybound shoulder pads. His torso's from Legacy. His legs are from the... Ooh, that's actually... These suits were around Day of the Departed, Season 7-ish, Ninjago movie era. I don't think they have a canon name, though. They were pretty good. Season 7's my favourite season, of course. And then he's got silver arms and black hands. And that is Tournament Zane. Next is Tournament Cole. I love how this one came out. So, of course, he's got the hair and head from the new era's Cole and stuff. He's got a red half mask, I don't own one in orange. Same Skybound shoulder pads, torso and legs from Core Cole, and the yellow arms, red... What am I talking about? Yellow arms, black hands, which, of course, I got from the hunted Cole.
He should also have a black mask. Not red, just so you know, probably.
But it was orange in the show.
Well, red's not right.
Yeah. Next is Source Tournament Nia, who I don't own any Nias with this predominant colour scheme, so I took the torso and legs from Legacy J from Season 4. Then she has got the same arm and hands from Legacy J, Skybound back piece, blue half mask, I can't find one, light blue, and then the classic Nia head and this new hair piece, which has only been used for the first time in canon. And that is Source Tournament Nia. Just as a quick thing to mention, Wildfire's here too, but this is the Season 1 version, which I'm already guaranteeing is going to go up in price massively, because I don't own the Season 2 one yet. I will get my hands on Tournament Temple City eventually, but I don't own it yet, so this is the only one I've got, unfortunately. And yeah, I think she looks pretty good, and the only upgrade I made is this knockoff piece of blue to represent the blue fire, because it's not as clear as the official blue. And that is Wildfire. For our final of the ninjas is Aaron. This one I think came out absolutely incredible. He's got the hair and head from Build a Minifigure Aaron. He's got a half mask piece, which I actually just got as a spare from Sora. Kind of cool they have the same half mask colour. Kind of shows the relationship they've got going on there. Anyway, so he's got the torso and he's got the torso from Build a Minifigure Aaron, but the legs from regular Aaron. And of course the yellow arms and black hands. Looking around, and he's got this on the back. Build a Minifigure Aaron, I know he's kind of rare and isn't available anymore, but this is the that's the Source Tournament Aaron, who, let me just say, really cool this season. Now it's time to get a little evil, because we've got Rass's crew coming up. The second team in the Source Tournament, the more evil one. So I've already shown you the Warrior and Cinder. Also Jordana, again, don't own the new Part 2 version.
I don't remember their name, actually.
Yeah, good point. What are we talking about, Jordana? That doesn't sound right. What is her name?
Let's just call them Raz's minion.
Sure, why not? And then there's Part 1 Cinder, who I still think holds up. Now for new characters, we have Frack, who... Oops, Frack fell over. Anyway, yeah, Frack, who is just a core snake, and I think he does the job well. He's got armor, he's an orange snake. And then here comes the big guy himself, Ras. I love this custom and how it turned out. I took a standard Ras head, but painted the teeth white, technique I got from Brickanobi. Then I gave him the Ras Season 1 arms with black hands. I took a pink Batman torso, flipped it around, you can see the film there. I flipped it around and just paint penned on all his little details. Then I gave him some black crystal armor and these legs from a Neo minifigure, I think. And then he has his hammer, which is a custom build by me, using mostly official pieces from the Ras hammer from Season 1, but I removed the 2 grey studs here and added a gold stud at the bottom. And this is Ras's team, plus 1 Cinder. Now, certain viewers may have pointed out, there's something missing from Ras's team. I wonder who that could be. Ah, of course. It's Nokt of the Forbidden 5, and that's our next category. Forbidden 5. I love the Forbidden 5 this season. They were pretty good. And they did stuff with the Gong of Shattering and turned all the warriors into these epic guys with giant claws. So, for Nokt, he uses the hat from Jungle Gambadon from the Ninjago movie. Then his head is kind of weird, but it's the head from Electro Gestro from Nexonites. Let me just... yeah. That way you can get the kind of lightning bolt look and the sharp fangs, and he has blue eyes, so I gave him the other eyes. And then I just stuck some clay on the back and put a stud on there to represent his electrical shock device. He's got a tattered black cape, one of these Lloyd swords, black arms, white hands, same legs that I used on Cinder, but I own 2. There you go. And the torso from that same knockoff minifigure. Because
a samurai guy.
Yeah, because even though it's knockoff, I think it's the best we have for Nokt. And of course, Nokt would not be complete without his sister, Rox. Well, Nokt just fell over. Symbol of his defeat. So for Rox, I would have used the same hat for Nokt, but I wanted all the Forbidden 5 to have different hats. Well, except for one, but we'll get to that later. And so I gave her this hat from a knockoff Skull Sorcerer who didn't have the mask connected to it. I think it just adds a little extra. And her head is from a Vermilion Warrior. You can use either side. This one looks more accurate to the murals, where there's only one eye showing, but this one looks more accurate to the show with 2 eyes showing. Then, I'll be clear with you, I made all my Forbidden 5 customs before Part 2 came out. So the fact that she's in blue is just a symbol of the time. And she has a black Batman cape. But again, don't have enough dark coloured robes to make them all accurate, so we're going to have to stick to them in this colour. Next up we have the only other member of the Forbidden 5 to be named, Zarkt. I absolutely love how this one came out. So his hat is actually a hat from a sailor, but flipped around so that it covers the full face. And he's got a green cape with a neck bracket underneath. More of these knockoff pieces, black arms, white hands. And then for his weapon, I forgot to mention, Rox the red katana. Before his weapon, it's a chain connected to the neck bracket with one of these kind of telescope pieces and a Nexonites top bit. You'd be surprised how many pieces come from Nexonites.
And if you want to know what's underneath his hat, it's just a plain black head.
I'll update it once we know what Zarkt actually looks like. For the unnamed Forbidden 5 characters, we're starting with this guy, who has a red Stone Warrior hat, Vickrel's head from Knights of Ren, Star Wars, a red Batman cape, and then he's got the torso and legs are not only knockoffs, a white hands, black arms, and his build is a scythe with a red mixed tooth for the end of it. This is the only time I've given a character the Nokt hat again, but I felt like it was kind of neat because the only way I could do it. And then for the final one of my favourites, I think this one actually came out really well. It's this guy. His hat comes from the Stone Colossus, the Oni Titan guy. And then his head is a Pharaoh's Quest mummy flipped around, so we get all these bandages on him, like this, but only one eye is showing, like in the show. Now he's got a grey cape, one of these Lord of the Rings spear pieces, and then of course he's got these knockoff hearts, black arms, white hands. And that is... Whoops. And that is the Forbidden 5. Now what would a Source tournament be without its Games Master? Roby.
Who I can do an impression of.
You can actually do a really good impression of him. I also built him this little thing up here so he can fly around. Now, his accessories are too heavy for him, so I have to take it out of his hands quick. I guess that's what we'll start with. Why do I keep saying Source? The Source Tournament Cup, which is a really simple build, and you don't even have to build this one, you could just build the one in the set, it's still a simple build. His other accessory is this selfie stick that I got from the Robot World set, which will be important in the Galactic series, stay tuned. So for Roby himself, he uses the same spiky black hair that he has, but this head, I don't know where it came from, probably CMF or something, but I think it looks more accurate to him, it gives him that excited vibe. Now his legs are from a Lego City Deep Sea Diver, and his torso is from Kai from the Ninjago movie. Same with his arms, by giving him yellow hand. But then I went over with some paint pen to turn all the black bits purple, add his cufflinks, and add a little purple on his legs. I think it goes a long way. It really makes Roby look like the guy. And once I get the official one, I will switch out the legs, probably, for my custom ones, say with the arms. But what would Roby be without Blecht, his foil and uncle? He uses some knockoff hair that is close enough, it's not the Han Solo hair. Then I used a Woo head and gave him a monocle with a paint pen. Again, it's not a serious enough looking face and it kind of annoys me, but I can't find one. Then he's got this torso, which has come in some Generic City sets, and I gave him some dark-ish brown legs, but paint pen the top black. You could use the ones from the Johnny Thunder from the CMF, though. Then for his cane, it is a brown stick with another one of the things I use for Ras, studded with a hole in it. And just for the extra detail, I made the little symbol on the bottom of his cane, just because I felt like it. So that is our Games Master and Rule Master, Administrator, Minister, whatever the hell Blecht is, who knows. So, I guess now we might get started on the Masters. Now for Elemental Masters, we're starting with the old ones. Pretty much all of these are official, which, yeah, I know. How did I get these two officially? Well, it's called being in the right place at the right time. Ash is a custom, though. He used the same hairpiece as Roby. He's got this head from the paintball guy from the CMF. Chima, I think, yeah, that is a Chima torso with arms and dark grey hands. And then these legs, I have absolutely no clue where these legs came from. But they're cool and I own them, they might be knockoff. And Shade here is actually a knockoff, but I gave him the official dual molded legs. However, for Dareth back here, this is fully custom. I just paint penned his details to be exactly how they are on the show. Pretty cool, right? And for Gravis, he uses legs from the Monkey King. So that is how you make all of the old Elemental Masters. But of course, none of these guys show up in the Source Tournament, even though Griffin Turner, Karloff, Gravis, and possibly Belobo, and also Skylar, would have still been active at the time. Let's hope we see them in future seasons. But yeah, those are all the old Elemental Masters. And now for the ones you've probably all come here to see, it's time for the Source Tournament characters.
The interesting ones.
The interesting ones. So we're going to start with the past Elemental Masters returning. So we're going to start with Neuro, who only had a brief cameo, and of course I don't own the official one because it came in a Bricktober pack. But for all of you out there like me, here's how you can build your own Neuro. I took this hair from the Batman movie CMF from Zan, and it's got... And basically what I did is he's got black hair, but I added 2 white streaks on the sides to make it look more like Neuro. Yes, I know Neuro now uses the standard slick back hair, but this is more accurate to how he looked in Season 4, and I prefer it. Then his head's from a Shark Army bad guy from the Ninjago movie. I would have given him a more serious one, but he needs to have his goatee, so I stuck to this. Then his torso is from Woo from Legacy, and his legs are from Season 4 Cole. Then I gave him some white arms and black hands. Yes, I'm aware, after thinking about it, Neuro would actually have black arms and yellow hands here, but I actually kind of prefer how this looks. So for all of you who've built this Neuro from my customs and give him the black arms and yellow hands, tell me how it looks, because I'm going to try it out for myself after this video, and maybe next video I'll tell you how it looks to me. Next is Chamille, who I don't own the official of again. But yeah, I gave her the hairpiece from the rock guy, but paint penned it purple. Have you noticed a trend with paint penning in this video? Then she's got this head, which I added a small dot to make it look more accurate to her. So she's got the torso from a Zakarian warrior from Thor Ragnarok and some legs from Eternals with yellow arms and purple hands to tie her all together. I think this actually came out pretty well. If you don't own the official Chamille, I heavily recommend doing this. If you do own the official Chamille, I heavily recommend making the head because it looks more accurate to her. Now for the guy you saw on the thumbnail, it's Paleman. His hat is from... Well, you can actually get it from Ninjago right now. Well, not right now, it's a retired set, but... Prime Empire Market set comes in it. Then his head is it's a translucent head, but I paint penned on some glasses. I really wish I owned the official Paleman, the original one, because I was a big Ultra Agents fan back in the day, but I never got that one. Then his torso and arms are from Bilbo from The Hobbit, with some white hands. And he's got dark red legs, which you can get from a variety of places, like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And then his head comes from the guy from Monster Fighters, so that you get a kind of patchy beard, partially helped by the fact that it's so scuffed. And on the other side, you actually have him wearing glasses. So that's how you make Paleman, or Mr. Pale, or Mr. Invisible, or the Master of Light. This guy's got a lot of aliases.
For £30 cheaper.
For quite a bit cheaper, yeah. Now we have Tox or Toxita. I own the original one. From Ultra Agents, which I just got by being in the right place at the right time. Noticing a trend with that again in this video. But, of course, I own this set in the back, where we got a newer Tox for the Source Tournament. I am not entirely sure which one I prefer, but I can tell you one thing I do prefer, and that is switching the hairpiece out. I'll just show you what that looks like in a second. I don't know how, but these hairpieces honestly fit the alternate versions better. But hey, it's cool that now in this new wave we are finally getting some Ultra Agents villains being thrown into Ninjago for the first time. And, just as a little piece of trivia, if you want to know why villains such as Toxita and Mr. Invisible turned Tox and Mr. Pale, or Paleman, were actually in Ninjago, it's because Tommy Andreasen was working on, Tommy Andreasen was one of the old co-creators in Ninjago. He was working on Ultra Agents at the time, and of course they didn't have a high enough set budget, but they wanted ways for fans to get more Elemental Masters, so decided to throw in some Ultra Agents bad guys as Elemental Masters, which is a pretty smart thing to do in my opinion. Starting off our new Elemental Masters, we have Euphrasia. I'm going to prefix this by saying I really just don't like her. Like, there's no real reason I don't like her, it's just, I don't. Like, she's not developed enough as a character, in my opinion. Maybe partially because of that, it's because the old Master of Wind, Moro, was such an incredibly well-developed character. But yeah, I don't own the official one, so here's how to build a custom. Hairpiece, fairly common. Head, generic head. Got these hood from Jack from Hidden Side. Hidden Side's an underrated theme, heavily recommended. Torso and legs come from Season 5 and Season 6, woo, with some white arms and yellow hands. That's how we put together Euphrasia in a relatively easy way. I may not like the character, but we do need her for the Source Tournament. Next up, I don't know if you caught him, in the background of the Source Tournament, when Roby's first entering and showing them off how cool everyone is and how they all loved them fighting off stuff on the cliffs, there is actually a mystic monkey from Monkey Kid who you can spot in the back, who looks kind of like Macaque. Now, this is just a Macaque warrior custom I made a while back, who is a Nexonized Ash attacker with a poorly paint-penned Monkey Kidding hairpiece on it. But I would recommend using the real Macaque from Flower Fruit Mountain, not the Season 3 one that I own, so that we have him with just one ear, instead of 6 ears. But yeah, it was pretty insane to see a mystic monkey in Ninjago. Now for some Elemental Masters who can build just piece of the minifigures you possibly have in your collection right now, we have Master of Size, who's a knockoff Thanos, but you can use an official Thanos, and Kizzy, the Master of Balance, who is just Glaciator, or Ice Rocks, as I've nicknamed him, from Power Miners. I think these both work really well. So, of course, Big Purple Guy, Master of Size is a Big Purple Guy. Bonus points for using one with a helmet, because they have sound like it. And Kizzy is, of course, a little blue rock. Glaciator is a little blue rock. Now, these are two you can make with no added alterations. For a third character you can make with no alterations, here's the new Master of Sound. I used the Lego Movie 2 Swamp Monster. I own the original Monster Fighters 1-2, but he doesn't have any of the brown details that the new Master of Sound has. It actually, works really well, because, of course, the new Master of Sound is a green Kalmar-looking guy. And this is the closest we can ever get to a green Kalmar-looking guy. I like the new Master of Sound. He's fairly interesting. I like how he can, shoot out sound waves from his mouth, like echolocation. That's really cool. Maybe it'd be cool if he was, a bat guy. Possibly. Whatever, he's cooler than Jacob, at least. No offense to Jacob, because he does have a cool guitar and cool hair and cool glasses. But yeah, that is the Master of Sound. Next is Geo, the Master of Form. He uses hairpiece from an orc, and I'm going to be completely honest, just like the thumbnail, I partially inspired this one by Brick Legends' design, mainly because they pulled it off so well. So yeah, he's got hairpiece from a Lord of the Rings orc, because it's the best we can get. His head, arms, and hands are all from a Gekko, and his legs, just like how Brick Legends did it, are from the Anacondri Warriors, which, yeah, it works so perfectly for him. And as for his torso, I took this one from a knockoff Chen, and you can see because the paintwork on the back isn't very good. I would have added a scarf, but I don't have enough scarves lying around. So that is Geo, Master of Form.
Also, you might have not heard me, but yes, he has a very cool colour.
Yeah, the teal is very nice. For the less interesting masters, we have Master of Surface Tension and Master of Figment. Master of Figment, I just took one of the bone guys from Core and gave him a woo hat. I know he doesn't have one of these big mouth bits in the actual show, but I just kind of like it, so I'm going to keep it around. For Master of Surface Tension, I actually kind of like how this one came out. I took one of these standard ponytail pieces and paint penned it white to give it that kind of silvery look. Then I gave her the head from one of the witch from CMS Season 14, a knockoff one though, and paint penned on some blue around the eyes. And then both the legs, arms, and hands are all from knockoff Halloween-y style minifigures because I think it really pulls off the look pretty well. I remember back when I watched that video of all those knockoffs on Toy Gander before I even owned them. Shout out to Toy Gander. What happened to Toy Gander? Last seen 2019. For one I made before this part came out, because of course she just looks like her sister now, even though I don't own her. But here is Zeatrix. Her hair is a knockoff piece, because I think it works absolutely perfectly for the white long hair she has. Then her head is, I don't know where it's from, because I got it when I bought a Nexo Night set. It was actually this one over here, the Jester thing. I got it for £25 on eBay, what a steal. But yeah, I picked it because it has this little flower thing on the side, which kind of looks like the Imperium markings. Then her torso and legs are from Ras, with black arms, white hands, and purple Power Blast pieces to represent Shockwave, and that is Zeatrix.
And here's a custom of their sister.
Yeah,
the
Empress Beatrix. If you want to make her, I used the hairpiece from Sylvie from the Marvel CMF series, and the head comes from an anglerfish goon, because again, we got this on the side, which kind of looks like the Imperium markings. Then she's got a red cape, Imperium armor, which you can also get from Ras, like the torso. She's got a torso from a vampire guy, legs from Season 7 Cole, and then black arms and yellow hands. So I guess if you want to make Zeatrix from Part 2, just do this, if you don't already own the Empress. But yeah, that is Zeatrix and Beatrix. Now it's time to move on to what is, in my opinion, my most impressive customs, and my brother's most impressive customs, to come out of this video. Starting us off, we're doing this in order of their appearances, I think. But starting off, we've got Obscura, the new Master of Shadow. This is the complete opposite to Euphrasia, honestly. The second she showed up, I absolutely loved her. She looks so cool. Anyway, this hairpiece is relatively common now, but I don't own it in black eye, so I got a brown one and paint penned it black. Again, a lot of paint penning in this video. Head is from Ebony Moore from the UCS Sanctum Sanctorum because it's the closest I can get to the shadowy look of Shade and Obscura, plus the darkness around the eyes. Do think she looks kind of slightly too angry though. Now, in the show, she has a dark grey, what I call the macaque scarf, but I only own one of that piece, for macaque obviously, and I don't own a grey paint pen. So I took a regular scarf and it's a knockoff scarf, and I paint penned it black. So, there. Her torso, in case you haven't seen from the times I flipped her around, is from Ninjago movie Nia, but flipped around, so we have like a kind of symbol on the front, and it kind of looks like her armour, which I really like. With of course some grey arms and white hands, what do I mean grey arms and white hands? Light grey arms and black hands, just like Shade from past seasons. And I actually really like this because if you look, the yellow at the top of the torso completely covered by the scarf. And for her legs, they're from an Ash Attacker from Nexo Knights. Again, a lot of Nexo Knights in this video. But yeah, just like this macaque guy from earlier, she's got those legs because I think they work best for the armour shown in the show. Next is Zer. I really like this character on the show. His hair, can you call it hair? Horns or whatever, come from he's a master of reflex. But yeah, his horns come from the not Ninjago, I'm an idiot. Nexo Knights, like I said, a lot of Nexo Knights this video. The Nexo Knights gargoyles. I do own an official gargoyle, but I'm not paint penning it purple because this piece already exists and it's perfect enough. Then his head is fully paint penned to make it accurate enough. He's got his teeth, his red eyes, and the spikes. His shoulder pad piece you can get from Lego Movie 2 or one of the bone guys from Core. Then for his torso, I need to get something that has like a dark coloured sash with purple peeking out. And the best I could get was the Ghosts from Season 5. And so I had to build him around being dark blue instead of black. So I gave him a dark blue arm with a purple hand and a purple arm with a purple hand. And then for his legs, they are dark blue and I poorly paint penned on some ripped purple on the bottom. And that is how you build Zer. And my final one is is my brother's custom and what I think is the greatest custom he has ever made. You may have already seen him in the thumbnail.
It is Zant-Tanz.
Yes, he can't stand up very well because of his shell. I put together all of the torso bits and stuff. So his legs come from Rex from the Lego movie. His torso paint penned again. His arms come from knockoff Sonic minifigures, just so you can get the beigeish colour with the yellow. Then he's got a yellow pauldron for classic Lego Castle and neck bracket. But my brother worked on all the clay to give him this really cool shell and head, which uses wires in the top for his eye stalk to peek out of. Zant-Tanz was really cool to see in this show. Too bad he ended up being sent out so early. Of course, spoilers, but I mean, if you clicked on a video about all the new characters in Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2, what were you expecting but spoilers? Anyway, now we've done it. And there you have it. Every single character from Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. How to build them, how to own them, how to upgrade them, how to do everything. We'll see you in the next video, but this was fun, and bye. Hopefully, we've added some significant characters to your collection.
If you think that there's a giant rock guy that we're missing, then you're right.
Yeah, but we don't know if he's actually an Elemental Master or not. But if any of you have evidence for him being an Elemental Master, put it in the comments and maybe we can do a separate video on him. Anyway, that's all from us. We'll see ya.